This is my test bench for the AC Veggie Steam Smacker. As you can see, it's generating HHO like a Mad Hatter. It's running pretty cool right now. I've only been running it now for almost 30 minutes. And I'm running it on 12 volts right now on the 6 amp, but it's going to blow it, so I'm going to cut it back to 6 volts now because it interrupts the circuit breaker on it. But it actually is running, as soon as it kicks down, it just kicked down there. It's running almost 7 amps, and when it gets to, that's 14, if you switch it to 12, this doubles this number, so 7 becomes 14. If it gets to 8, it's 16. So when it gets to 8, I switch to 12, it'd be 16 amps on a 12 volt. This is an 8 amp gauge, 6 amp gauge with it's a total of 8 amps, but a 6 amp gauge. And it's got 6 volt and 12 volt options. So it's running 7 amps now. And when I switch it to 12, it kicks in to 14. The red clip is positive, black clip negative, and it's really putting out the gas there, as you can see. The bubbler's working really good. The gas is coming out pretty steady. Big bubbles. And this is the cloud of the HHO gas coming off of the generator. And it just flipped the circuit breaker, so switch it back to 6 volts and it'll reset, come back on. As soon as it kicks back on, it'll start generating again. There's my first test bench after rebuilding it. I've got tighter set of stainless steel nuts and connectors throughout the system of the generator. I've got coated bottom straps, sides, the positive and negative straps going up to the negative and positive posts. And my next modification will be to put the shrink wrap around the unit and rerun it. Right now I've run this solution numerous times. I keep filtering it with coffee filters, and it's got a little rust in it because I was gone for a week, and the oxygen oxidized the plates a little bit. But I cleaned it with a mild acid solution called vinegar, and then rinsed them with distilled water, and that seemed to help a lot. But some of the rust is still in there from the solution from the previous runs, as I'm doing this multiple runs to condition the plates right now. And you can see it's now running at 6 on the gauge there. It says amperes delivered to battery. 6 amps is going to the gauge right now. It's got an 8 amp gauge on it, but it's a 6 amp unit, and it's running at 6 volts and 12 volts. I'm running at 6 volts, 6 amps. I switch it, it's going to be 12 volts at 12 amps right now. And the output increases. It doubles. Output becomes much more active. So there you have it. This is the first test bench with JB Weld on the top to seal the hole I was getting. I'm getting a small hole, and I have to redo it because I've got a little bit of a hole right now. I'm plugging it with this paper towel, which seems to be helping. I've got a good seal on now because the other strap on this canister was weak, and it was letting the foaming solution was coming out through the gasket. There you go.